Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm your host, Preston M. Smith. Hey everybody, welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm Preston M. Smith, at PMS Artwork everywhere on internet land and socials. I want to thank you for landing on this podcast. Whether you're a professional artist, just getting started in the art world, a collector of art, or just consider yourself a creative person, this podcast has something for you. I like to think of it as a fun way to rant and talk to other creative people about living the life of an artist, surviving and getting ahead in the art world, and enjoying your life. But most importantly, not waiting until you're dead to make it happen. All right, let's get started.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's wild. I hear you, Matthew, but when did you know you were going to be famous? Well, hell, son. If I think back, I kind of always knew. I just pictured myself and my name in lights for as long as I can remember. Kind of just was always that way. Okay. So, kind of like a delusion. Shit, son. Let me ask you something. Is it a delusion if you don't know the difference? I mean, if you don't know you're deluded, how the hell is it a delusion? Green light. Oh, wow. It's wild if you think about it. But, I kind of get the logic.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. Oh, I kind of fell into a little Matthew there. Sorry about that. Green light. Anyway, welcome back to the podcast. Coming to you live from the floor again. Another episode in the Floorcast series as I try to get well. And came off a rough holiday weekend, but I'm here. I'm alive. Well, I'm alive, everybody. Okay, that's hard to break. But we're going to try to break it. And what did that opening mean in the context of, being an artist? Well, yes, the whole thing about being deluded, and yeah, it's funny, it's kind of easy to poke fun at some of these celebrities and stuff, but you really do kind of have to have a little bit of a delusion or a deluded mindset to believe that you are going to be a huge, international star on that level, and even to make it into the acting world. I mean, it seems like every day I'm looking at somebody who made it in the acting world or in the movie industry, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's great. Good for them. I mean, they really did some amazing stuff. And then you, of course, do a little digging and you find out, oh, their mother was a huge star, or their father was a huge star, or their grandfather was a producer, or their uncle, was a casting agent or something. So, yeah, to be somebody who just kind of breaks into the business, a fresh face who has no connections or anything, and just to be able to climb the ladder and become a huge star or a huge actor or an amazing artist in our case, somebody who breaks in and becomes that 1 in a million person, or just becomes a professional artist, that's very difficult too. That's not something that a lot of people can do. The odds are stacked against you for sure. Now, that doesn't mean it's impossible, but I think in this case, we can really use our delusion. It's kind of like the Guns N' Roses album, Use Your Illusion, but in our case, it's going to be Use Your Delusion. Yes, use your delusion. I've talked to some other artists. I remember visiting, I think I've talked about this before on the podcast, but I remember visiting a semi-famous artist, or an artist who at least is really doing well, making good money, and has a name for himself. I remember him saying at one point, it's a little bit insane to believe that we can do this as a career, as a living. And at the time I was kind of like, that's a little shitty thing to say, but I do have to agree with it on some level. It is definitely not something that is crazy to think of doing as a career, in the sense of it's really valuable to society. It's something that really, reflects back the culture at the time and the human experience, and it's valuable. It's something that we all visit in museums. We're like, artists are the people that are remembered the most. And, when you revisit certain eras, you look at artworks and you look at films and you look at music and all these things. These are the things that really stand out the most. So it is a very valuable career to go into, but it is a little crazy to believe that we can be one of those artists who will rise to that level of influence in society and somebody who's going to stand the test of time. So in that sense, we do need to cultivate a little bit of delusion on the level that we can really just believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that we can make it there. I think most people who've ever done anything amazing were like that. They had tunnel vision. They didn't hear the naysayers. They couldn't hear the naysayers. If anybody got in their way, they just blocked them out or just moved forward or steamrolled past them. And I think if you're going to do things great, if you're going to do anything great or anything that goes against the odds or defies the odds, you have to be able to access that side of yourself that really believes beyond a shadow of a doubt. There's almost like no other option. Like, yes, I have to make it. And, it's one of those things where it's mindset. I mean, mindset dictates everything in our lives. How we see the world, what kind of money we can make, who our friends are, what is possible. And even with me, for example, with this illness that has been like a science fiction horror film that seems to be unbeatable, even in my sense, like if I sit down and I do mindset work or limbic retraining, or I even just listen to some Eckhart Tolle while I'm doing it, sometimes it changes my perception even in that moment. And it's something that you can build off of. Like maybe your nervous system's freaking out because you're being annihilated physically and mentally, and your brain is being eaten alive. All these things are happening. So your nervous system is naturally freaking out. Well, you can actually calm it down by focusing on certain things like this, by like doing the limbic retraining, which is not really anything magical. It's just changing the way you're thinking and finding a way to become safe in your own body. And you can do that through different programs like DNRS or the Gupta program or anything like that. But you can also do it by listening to somebody like Eckhart Tolle or just working on your mindset. It doesn't fix your illness right away, but it does change in the moment how your nervous system is working. So even in a sense of illness, our mindset or our quote unquote delusion at the time can refocus us and can almost make or break that moment that you're in of trying to rise above a certain flare or something that's really affecting your nervous system. So you might be asking, how do you do this in your art? How do you cultivate this? Well, it is a bit difficult because it's kind of hard to train delusion, or a healthy delusion, I should say. It's kind of hard to train that ability to just see no barriers and just to be like, yes, I'm going to make it no matter what. Because, we do hear a lot of naysayers, and we do hear about the statistics of making it as an artist. And we do have social media to contend with now, where we see other people doing it, and it kind of affects our self-perception of ourselves. You see somebody, really thriving, and you're like, oh man, why am I not doing that? And it can affect your system a little bit. Well, that is one way that we can cultivate a little bit more of a healthy delusion, or building up your confidence in a sense, which is maybe turn off social media. Maybe be very specific of how you look at social media and what you do on social media. Don't spend time just doom scrolling or looking at other artists and lamenting your own situation and being like, why not me? Just do things that are positive. Get yourself in front of people who will make you feel good about yourself. Put your work up, and don't do too much stuff that's going to detract from your own sense of self-worth. Do that in your regular life as well. Don't hang around people who are going to be giving you little poison pills periodically or even on a regular basis of, well, the odds are stacked against you. You know how hard it is? You better have a backup plan. All these types of things. We've talked about these many times. Surround yourself with people who do believe in you and your art, and that's going to take you a long way. Yes, do mindset meditation work. Do visualization while you are meditating. Really picture yourself, quote unquote, like Charlie Sheen would say, winning. Winning. Picture yourself rising above. Picture yourself thriving. Picture yourself in the gallery you want. Picture yourself in the home you want. Picture yourself with the body of work that you want, so on and so forth. Build these delusions, these healthy delusions in your own mind. Yes, you can use affirmations. You can do all of that stuff. But really, it's all about cultivating. If you're having a hard time with this, some people are just born with it. Maybe they just had a great parent who filled them full of, you can do anything all the time. And, maybe they had no obstacles in their way or no barriers in their way, and they just believed beyond a shadow of a doubt. Not all of us have that privilege, or not all of us have that kind of path, laid out for us. So we have to kind of develop that skill. It's like anything else. It's a muscle. You have to work it. So be more specific and be more conscious about what you're allowing into your life and what you're cultivating in your own brain. If somebody is, constantly bringing you down, don't hang around that person anymore. If you want to build a body of work, just set aside time every day to go out and work. And before you know it, the months and the years will stack up and the artwork will stack up. And you will all of a sudden have a body of work that you are very proud of. You just have to set things in motion and follow through on these things. It is intentional. I would say listen to music that fills you up. Listen to music that is going to there's a time and a place to listen to sad music. Like I used to listen to Elliott Smith all the time and whatever. And it's great for moody studio work. But like if you're trying to cultivate a positive mindset or a healthy delusion of yourself making it, listen to positive, listen to upbeat, listen to even music that kind of get your blood pumping. It can even be like a Nirvana or Metallica or something. Whatever floats your boat. If it's rap, if it's, some people love country, but whatever you're putting into your ears, make sure that it is filling you up in that way where it is making you feel good and positive, like you can achieve what you want to achieve. And, surround yourself with good movies, funny movies, good documentaries, things that fill you up from a place of intrigue and passion and, giving you ideas to move forward. I think the more you surround yourself with all these types of things, from an art standpoint, from a personal standpoint, from a friends and family standpoint, from a body of work and, actually working in the studio standpoint, and from a spiritual and self-help and emotional standpoint, what you're doing in the lab, what you're doing in the shadows, what you're doing, in the meditation room or the meditation chair, or what you're doing on your walks, going out and getting oxygen in your system and bringing in good positive thinking and visualization, all that stuff can start to stack this type of mindset much more strongly. And once you start getting that muscle worked, it'll become second nature. You will build that healthy sense of delusion, if you want to say, or confidence. Obviously it's a self-confidence, but it's more than confidence. It really is a healthy form of delusion, just to, be able to unabashedly, in an unshakable fashion, just put the blinders on and go for your dream and not be swayed or discouraged by any outside source, whatever it may be. So let's take a page from the McConaughey book that we were talking about in the beginning of not knowing the difference between reality and delusion and using that in a healthy way. Obviously we still need to be plugged into society and act as human beings, but just in an artistic pathway, use our delusion to get what we want and get to where we want in our careers. So I'm going to leave it at that. Just wanted to talk about that today because it was on my mind, and I feel like everybody that I have ever really admired who's made it on their own has kind of had this sense of self-worth and this confidence and this healthy form of delusion that is unshakable to them. So let's work on cultivating that in our own lives and in our own art, and I think it will serve us well. So hope everybody's doing well out there. Hope you had a good holidays here in the United States, and hope you are staying creative and taking care of yourselves, taking care of everybody else in your lives. And we will see you next time on the next episode. As always, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Well, hell, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into my brain. It's a wonderful and magical place in here, and I hope you got what you want out of it. And as I always say to myself, and as I said in my historical Oscar speech, don't chase me like I chase myself. Chase yourself in the future. That's right. Always be chasing a future version of yourself, a better version of yourself, and be thinking about it through those eyes. Would your future self be proud of your current self? And if the answer is no, well, hell, it's time to change something. McConaughey, out.
Sure. Well, let's just go with that. Mumford, out. God damn it.
This has been the Living Artist Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I just want you to know that I appreciate you being here, and I'm grateful to be in your ears. Your art and creative life on this planet is meaningful, so thank you for sharing it with me. If you like this podcast, whatever platform you're listening to it on, please subscribe and share it with your friends. You can also leave me a positive review to show your support. This helps me to reach more people with the algorithmic magic and keep the show going strong. If you want to see more of what I do and check out the art that I create, you can visit my website at www.pmsartwork.com or follow me on social media everywhere at PMS Artwork. That's it for now. See you back here next time.